Free.
We're live.
Welcome to Fable Table, everyone, an actual play live stream focused on critical world building, collaborative storytelling, and finding the fun in games. How are you all today?
I'm doing great, John. How are you?
Holy fuck, John, that was cringy as shit. But we're here, we're good.
You know.
I'm here to be critical of your world building.
Thank you so much, Coron or lol Coron in the chat, a fast friend who's always on Greg Hansen's and Jon Dungeonmaster's shows. Thank you for joining us, lol Coron. Millman from Australia, waking up early, hanging out with us, and playing some goddamn video games. How are you doing, man?
Video games, I'm alright. I actually did get up in a panic thinking that I was late, so nothing new for me. But
well, you're right on time because we're doing session 0 today. Isn't that right, Apollo_Nick?
Yes, and unlike any other show we've done on the channel so far, I am not going to be the host. I'm going to be a player, so I'm really excited to be creating a character alongside these other two wonderful gentlemen.
It's true. It's very true, and I'm happy to be a dungeon master once more. It was my name, and you know, I kind of like being a player, but I feel it in my heart being a dungeon master. And
I heard.
Unlike. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I heard Twitch was about to make you change your display name to Jon_player.
Player master, yeah.
Yeah, player master.
Where I just go ahead and whip Shadow, the 59-year-old elder, constantly yelling at him, verbally abusing him. It's gonna be the weirdest kink fest ever, but we're not here to talk about my kinks. We're here to talk about Millman's kinks, and specifically Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Guys, I have a small docket here to go through, but before we do that, I just want to, get everyone's expectations for this campaign. What's everyone wanting out of this? What's everybody hoping to get out of this? Tell me something. Tell me a secret. Coron.
God, I just really miss learning new game systems. And I also really miss being live and performing role-playing games. I did not think it would be something I would be that into, but it adds something,
Well, yeah. you've come to the perfect place, because that is exactly what my channel here is about, and I am excited about a lot of the same things you are. I really enjoy role playing with some really engaged and fun role players, which I know the two of you are. So Coron, welcome as a first timer to this stream as a player. I similarly enjoy learning new systems, and this is a new system for me. In fact, I know very little about Warhammer Fantasy, so I think that was one of the things that got me really excited, John, was just how immersive that fiction is. And I know you know a lot about it, so I'm excited to be guided into this world by you.
Well, I wish I could say that this was Warhammer Fantasy, but as Millman knows, it definitely is almost Warhammer Fantasy. Millman, what are your expectations for this campaign?
I'm just hoping not to die to the hordes of chaos. That is my sole goal. If I can throw my party at it and survive, I'll probably will. Because let's face it, I ain't dying to chaos. But no, I won't sacrifice you guys. But I know the lore well enough, right? I'm probably going to get a lot of things wrong, because in the Age of Sigmar, they changed a bunch of things when they released these games and books recently. So what I know is probably wrong, because retconning is a thing, but it's not retconning in Warhammer. They're just no, that never happened. No, never. We never wrote about any of our lore before. So as long as we don't, I know John's not just going to try to kill me outright, so we think we should be fine.
Yeah,
as long as I make the most basic character, we should be fine. Anything too complicated, you die. Every complicated character in these systems dies. So
it's true.
We Gucci. I actually have no idea what to expect out of this campaign, but so I'm just going to learn how this rolls and see where I can slot in my bullshittery.
Yeah, we have
Right in
some
that line.
big thanks to the guy who made the character sheet for Age of Sigmar Soulbound. I don't know who you are. You're credited in Roll20, but thank you so much for going out of your way to program a sheet that can be played on Roll20. So round of applause for that guy. Woo, that guy, right? Age of Sigmar and Age of Sigmar Soulbound are slightly different because in the Age of Sigmar game, which is like a tactical skirmish, like miniature battle game, the Soulbound don't exist. However, Cubicle 7 got the rights to make this game and try to like figure out a way to cash out on the Age of Sigmar brand, and they've come up with Age of Sigmar Soulbound, where we play as characters from all sorts of factions within the setting to work together in a disparate war band of our own that is, to say the least, super powered in comparison to the rest of the fantasy monsters. Obviously, you're not just going to raffle stomp everything into the dirt, but on a mechanical level, they give me advice on what to throw at you, Millman, and one of them is hundreds of things at a time, even for a group of 3 players. So we're going to find out how balanced this game truly is, so I don't want to say that I'm not going to instantly kill you, because I don't know how to build encounters yet, because I have never DM'd this before either. This is a new game for me, a new system for me. But you know, I like telling fun stories, so hopefully I won't just murder you all on accident. Let's hope, right?
The Emperor protects, but it never hurts to double check.
It's very true. Okay. On to my expectations for this game, I suppose. Age of Sigmar Soulbound and the characters within it, the Soulbound, if you will, are defenders of territory, essentially. The world, all of the worlds, the realms, the multiverse, is all kind of fucked right now. And in the time period that is set within Age of Sigmar, they are the forces of order. The guy, Sigmar himself, is now pushing back the chaos, the warband, the terrible, terrible genocidal maniacs that are threatening to destroy civilization for all eternity. And you, Soulbound, are one version of Sigmar's or a god's agents. And we're going to find out how or who our party of Soulbound are coming up. We have a little bit of busy work to go through, specifically going over the archetypes. But I have a suspicious feeling that some of you read ahead, and we don't need to go through all of them. Apollo, now's where we go to the PDF, and we go to find the archetypes.
Okay, you want me to bring up the PDF? I can do that.
If you want. You don't have to. I can just talk for a little while, but maybe some people would like to look at things. I can do that. Yeah, I think it starts on page 48 or so.
Sure.
There are quite a few factions, and we're not going to cover them all in depth, so don't worry about that, but we are going to broad stroke it. We currently have our... I want to say it starts with Free Peoples.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Free Peoples are just essentially regular people living their best life in a fantastical apocalyptic world. They are scattered across the many realms. There are many realms. I believe there are like 10 or 8 of them or something like that. Music has been cutting in and out. Not sure what that is.
Yeah, maybe I'll just remove my filters from the music and let it go.
Maybe.
Send it, big fella. Send it.
Sounds like we are having a little audio difficulty from our audience members. We are working out hosting. So, after, of course, we have our free people, we have some of these daughters of Cain. These are essentially dark elves who worship a blood guy named Cain. He's a murder god, so if you like murder and the sorceries that come from murder, we have your fix. We have a Fire Slayers next, which are essentially dwarves who have bound a god's flesh into their flesh to summon fire and other cool magical effects. I think their goal is to literally collect all of the Pokemon, which is their fragmented god, for something to happen. We have the Ideneth Deepkin, who are Cthulhu mixed with Linkin Park, and they are elves. I am not a fan.
They're the dark elves. The other ones are the.
God, I wish. I don't know who was cranked out of their gourd when they made these weird fish elves, but I am not a fan of Atlantis, guys. Next up, we have the Caradron Overlords. They are dwarves mixed with steampunk who swear contracts into being, and those contracts are kind of like their entire purpose in life, to just kind of propel. They're weird capitalist steampunk dwarves, which I think are cool, especially when you fire a torpedo at somebody. Close to last but not least is the Stormcast Eternals. These guys have some mechanical implications because they are really strong. They were forged by Sigmar, and if we wish to play one of them, we will nerf them slightly mechanically so that they can get the benefits of their the benefits that they would be normally denied. I think this is for like the player who wants to be useful but can't make it every game on a play day or play night. They're like, hey, can I just be this one Stormcast guy? And they're like, yeah, sure, come on over, Jeff. And just there to have a good time. Finally, and certainly least, is the Sylvaneth. No, I'm kidding. They are these weird plant elves given souls, mixed with trees. You know, they just got a lot of shit going on. They're essentially wood elves who have now taken on part of the trees that they have been fostered within.
I want to play as that snake thing that had.
Playable factions, but I'm kidding. There's also one last one on a different PDF entirely, where we play as the Luminar. What are they called, Coron?
They're the Luminars.
Yeah, Lumineth Realm Lords. They are essentially the high elves who live on mountaintops, so they're kind of closer to being dwarves than the dwarves who are steampunk.
They have the
weird
bizarre hats.
They love their massive ass hats, guys. Hats, hammers, bows, and swords. Who doesn't like it? Okay. Those are a very broad stroke of all the archetypes. We also have a few more little rules for character creation, but if we know what we want to play, we can talk about what we want to play, guys.
Oh boy.
Filling out some character sheets.
I have like 3 or 4 of the archetypes I'm interested in. But mostly casters. What are the rest of y'all thinking? Because I think it'd be cool to have a well-rounded party so that we can kind of play around with the different mechanics of this system.
Well,
yeah,
we know what I'm like. I normally play, like, the last couple of characters, actually, I played difficult ones, right? So this one I'm going basic bitch because it's Warhammer, right? You're here to crush skulls for the Skull Throne, right? So I'm going hard on being a fighter. So I decided that I'm going to be either the Knight Questor, or a Knight Zephyros. I'll probably go with the Questor just so that I can take a two-handed sword, and I'm just going to bastard sword some bitches.
Okay, that is indeed one of the Stormcast Eternals.
Nerf stick me, baby.
I've done a little bit of math. It's probably not perfect, but the main downside of being a Stormcast Eternal is that they cannot access the mechanic, the group mechanic that is called Soulfire, which allows you to do stuff. But instead of denying any one of our party members that, because if you're not part of Soulbound, that means the rest of your party doesn't have much soul fire to go around either. We're going to do what is known as slapping your stats down. And we are going to allow you to join in on the soul binding. Narratively, we will do this in session 1, I feel. Because you, as a Stormcast Eternal, you're essentially forged a metal body, and then your soul is kind of shoved in it. And I'm going to say, narratively, your body got a little bit fucked up and malformed, and it seems to have stuck with your soul every time they try to reforge you. And now, to make you a little bit more useful, because you're dragging down your Storm Host, which is like your warband, you're just going to throw you in a soul binding and see what happens. It's kind of rough, kind of mean, but essentially we're just going to nerf your body, mind, and soul by 1 each. So instead of being 4, 2, 3 there, you're going to be 3, 1, 2. Ooh. And that will bring you in line with every other stat block as well.
Yeah. A lot of these are like 3, 2, 2, 4, 2, 1. So that sounds about right.
Yeah, I had my eye on the Fire Slayers primarily. So if Apollo is looking at a class, I'm looking at a, faction. There, I can be a little bit flexible there. I've really liked their take on the Dwarden Bard thing that they had going on. And since Millman is going a big fighty dude, that's probably the direction I'll go.
Okay. Is that based off soul or mind?
It's based off soul.
Okay, is that the Rune Smiter?
It's the Battlesmith.
Battlesmith, okay.
They've got the Legendary Saga, which is them telling you stories to inspire you.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, interesting. You are a master craftsman and a storyteller, inspiring those around you with your oratory and martial prowess. Based. Fire Slayers are really cool. They're essentially just naked dwarves who live on volcanoes and hammer in parts of their god into their flesh to be more powerful. I know that they're part of lodges, I believe, because kind of like the Agoge from Sparta. They were like, you're not good enough to be in our lodge, fuckboy, and they kick you down the volcano. But for those that make it, it's kind of a taboo for one of them to leave their lodge after they join one. It's going to be interesting seeing what sort of consequence that came to bring you into the soul binding of another god.
Yeah.
And finally, Apollo, what were you thinking of?
So I saw a couple of archetypes that really interested me. There was one in the Free People that was like the trade pioneer, just being kind of focused on someone who travels and having survival skills, and diplomacy really intrigued me. But I think also engaging with the magic mechanics could be really fun. So I had actually also eyed originally one of the Stormcast Eternal archetypes, but I think what I'm gonna go with, since Coron chose Charmander, I either could go Ideneth Deepkin and be his weakness, being a water elf, but
be a Squirtle.
yeah. But ultimately, I think I'm gonna go Bulbasaur, and I'm gonna be playing a Branch Witch.
Ooh, a Branch Witch.
Yeah, attuned to the sacred life magic of the forests, you employ druidic practices to defend the natural order. Their core attribute is mind, and core skill is channeling for Jade spellcasting.
Very good. Well, if you guys want to just start plugging in those numbers, you'll see down there below body, mind, and soul that there are quite a few things to choose from, like talents and skills. Let's go to page 75 on my end. So, for instance, you get the core skill, channeling. Your species is Sylvaneth. And then you have 7 experience to choose between those skills there. Additionally, since we're using the Champions of Order PDF, or add-on, what's it? Supplement? There we go. Supplement book. We get a little bit more background options that will help us flesh out our characters and also give us a new talent. Just for free, just for playing your character. Isn't that nice? Isn't that cool? For Millman, those background choices will be on page 55 in the Champions of Order PDF. For our fire guy, it's on page 39, and for Sylvaneth, it is on page 63.
Okay.
Okay, while you guys do that, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. So
sounds
just give me
good.
1 moment.
Okay, I'm gonna find the like character creation steps in the core rulebook as well.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking forward to right now.
It looks like
Choose
it's
archetype.
around page 20.
Yep,
Is where it starts.
that's where I was at too.
Yeah, choose your archetype. Perfect. I know that there's like lots of tables for like rolling to see your age and a lot of the other like characteristics of your character. I'm trying to find that.
It's
Ooh, Sylvaneth names. Here we go. Examples. Ardeneth. Bracklana. Cran. Derek.
Hello.
Hello. I like this one here, Kalara.
Laura.
Kelara.
What are you looking at?
Character names. Like they have some example Sylvaneth names.
Indeed. Let's try to stay away from like Chuck and Stan and
Aww.
you know.
What about Bradley though?
Meme names.
Can I be Robo Girly Man?
Want to be like a username? Can you get some underscores and XXs in there too?
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Now we understand why you were kicked out of your storm house. Yeah, I'm XX. Hangs out with Sigmar XX.
Apparently, Sylvaneth are 1d6 times 1d6 times 1d6 in age.
Ooh.
You could be 1 year old.
Yes,
It
you could be. Wow, that could have been so much higher.
I know we can see how many times Millman's character has been reforged, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
a mechanic in here as well.
Where's that?
Only in death do I serve. So essentially, every time I die, I get reforged. I roll a d6 twice, I think, and then it tells me what my traits change.
Where is that located?
That is page 57.
57. Thank you so much.
Reforging floors.
Oh.
Oh. Is that in Champions of Order?
Yes.
Okay. I was in the core PDF.
I haven't looked at the core PDF any further
You're great.
because there's like one page on my character, and then it's like, go find the other page. I'm like, fuck you.
Ah, you get a reforging flaw. Dope, dope, dope. Your eyes can crackle with lightning. Your hair can glisten like steel. A 5 and a 4. So that is either. You find it difficult to sleep in the open and prefer small enclosed spaces. Or
Rain will never land on you.
Deep. You cry only a single golden tear, which evaporates like morning dew when touched. You're precious, Millman.
I know, right?
Ugh. But it does confirm that storm people do in fact sleep, apparently. Wonder
Yeah,
why.
you're just immortal. You're not necessarily a superhuman. They take your soul and reforge it. And when you die, you become a geyser of lightning.
Based. Who doesn't like
Pretty
becoming
sick. Just start throwing people on top of my corpse once I die. Soak that lightning damage, bitches.
You just become a lightning rod. Phew. Okay. Well, there are quite a few backgrounds for everyone to kind of mull over, and I think I need to be working on a party sheet. Just don't think Roach is supporting it. Oh, hello game. Please work. Ah yes, my PDF crashed. I love it.
Oops.
Go to page 50.
Let's make sure this is big enough for the stream to see.
Yes. There we go. Party.
Okay, so you said backgrounds are what we should be looking at.
Yes, your background will be in Champions of Order.
That's right.
I want to say it's like page 60 something for you. Forgot.
Yeah, 63.
Cool. There's quite a few to choose from. Essentially, it just shows you where you've come from, and then it will give you a special little talent that you can add onto your character sheet.
Okay.
For example, the first one for you is the Oakenbrow Glade,
Yeah.
which gives you the Yield to None talent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cloud-bearing manifests an irrepressible force, allowing you to endure great burdens that would fell lesser beings. And blah, 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 continue on.
Okay.
So quite a few to look through there.
Where the fuck is my backgrounds?
If you're looking for more magic, Apollo, it seems like the Gnarl Root Blade may be for you. Gives you Eldritch Secrets.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take... I think I'm going to actually read through quite a few of these, or at least skim over them.
For sure.
All right, I've already taken a look at a lot of these, so the Ulrung look really interesting to me. They, I guess, really got messed up by the undead when that all happened.
What page are you on? Oh, I think I found it. Never mind.
42.
Indeed. The Ulrung. During the Ghoul Wars, it was the Ulrung who weathered the dreadful decade of the Wailing Storm upon their mighty magma hold. They have bested vampires and bided their way through the darkest supernatural torments of Shaiish, the realm of the dead. From their home in the gray spears of Athanasia. Jesus, there's a lot of fantasy words, guys. I love it. Okay. Brand Gungron burns coal flame. Their gold runes do not easily hear the sacred words that enkindle them with Grimnir's might. The fires of the Ulrung have all but guttered out, and the lodge will not last much longer without a new magma hold.
So we've got like a dying magnum hold, which sort of gives me a built-in reason to be leaving and trying to achieve something.
True. Make war as Grimnir would, more so than any other lodge or mortal host. It is to know that no matter what dread you face today, tomorrow is uncertain and likely to be far more cruel than yesterday. Holy fuck. Learn to fight on. You have the Urgold Mastery talent, regardless of whether you meet the requirements. Additionally, the Old Enemy Undead talent, see page 76, I believe, is added to the list of available talents for your archetype.
So the Urgold Mastery one basically So when I get a gold rune that empowers me from my guy, right, it lasts a certain amount of time, and the Urgold Mastery thing lets me essentially rekindle one of those.
Ooh. You know what? Or where that is, the talent itself?
It's later in that book. I can...
Okay.
Yeah, it's in order.
Dope. I'm not asking because I'm concerned. I'm asking because I want to know. You know, there's so many talents, guys.
Yeah,
I think there's like 150 talents.
Oh my god.
It's quite a lot.
Okay. I think I am actually going to take Gnarl Root Glade after all.
Ooh.
Not just because it seems to have the best talent or background feature, but because it actually is the most interesting in terms of the direction I wanted to go for the character.
Let's go look at it. Competing with the Oakenbrow for the title of Oldest Glade are the Gnarl Root, a reclusive conclave of wizened tree lord ancients and occult disciples. They seldom leave Gyron, shunning contact with other people, seeking only to protect a long-lost knowledge of those who would abuse its power. Buried within the soul pods of the Silvered Grove, the oft-besieged capital of the Gnarl Root, are forbidden magics that could change the face of immortal realms. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Only the Grum King, regent of Gnarl Root, is said to understand it all, though jade runes glowing upon the ruddy brown bark of Gnarl Root Sylvaneth indicate arcane mastery is common to their glade. When they wage war, they often summon endless spells of Gyron to support them. Burrowing glade worms, insect clouds of obscuring spite swarms, and animated floating trees known as vengeful skull roots. I will not read all of this, but it's dope as fuck. Dope as fuck. Oh. So there's a few interesting things they give you here on the second passage that lets you engage with the soul binding itself in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Hey, John, can you
Hi.
roll me a d6, please?
I'd love to roll you 6. You want it public or private?
Public. This is how many times I've been reforged. 4 times.
4 times. Oh, do you get a new feature every time?
No, it's just saying here, like when creating a character, roll d6, determine how many times you can be, how many times you have been reforged. If you roll a 6, roll again.
Oh, I see.
When you die, you may be reforged as a process. Take anywhere from hours to years.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
I believe it says somewhere there's roughly 100,000 Stormcast Eternals, like in totality, and not all of them are made equal. Some of them are like rushed out because their storm host like needs reinforcements immediately.
Yeah.
And others just sort of hang out waiting in the queue before getting remade.
There's six smiths.
Yeah, 6 guys just spending
Pumped out. Yeah.
eternities just bop 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 bop.
And even the rush jobs aren't actually that bad, right? Like, from what it looks like here, they're just monsters incarnate.
Yeah. One of the cool things that I liked about the Storm host when reading about it is that the souls themselves are not necessarily or originally
they're not special.
human.
Well, it says here they were. You're from a pool of mortal souls. It doesn't necessarily say man, but like, yeah.
Yeah, so like in the timeline, the mortal realm blew up like it exploded, and then during the Age of Myths, everything sort of just like went wonky, apocalyptic, some might say. And then after a whole bunch of stuff happened, we're not going to cover the entire lore. Sigmar, ya boy, just collected as many heroic souls as he could, regardless of what they were, and just threw them in metal bodies, which just so happened to appear like Space Marines from the hit game Warhammer 40k, making Sigmarines, as they're known when Age of Sigmar first came out. I also really like how Sigmar, the character, is super vainglorious, where he names essentially everything after himself. So either he really likes his own image, or he is super uncreative. Like, your bodies are made of Sigmarite. Made in Sigmaron.
I feel like the writers were just like, we really need names for these.
Yeah. If they could have known, like, 6 years later, of the whole Sigma grind set and the memes that came from that.
Yeah, just name your character Sigma, Millman. You're done.
Sigma balls.
Fucking Kratos just jumping off a ledge, just a Sigma side.
Dear God.
Holy shit. How are we all? I don't want to rush anyone through the mechanics of character creation, but most of this
I'm super lost.
You're lost? How can
Yeah, because like it's over, like you get 2 pages, then jump to the next section that's like 50 pages later to get the next bit. They don't just bulk it all together and they're like, oh, if you need these special things, go to these pages. No, it's like, just do this part, then read through everybody else's character creation, then read this part.
Here, maybe I can help you out. Let me check it. Okay, so as a Knight Questor, you, I believe, automatically get the core skill weapon, or weapon skill. So we would throw a training point in that, correct?
Training
Apollo?
and focus.
Training and focus. Thank you, Nick. So there you go. We've figured out your core skill, and now we have some more skills to choose from. Is it 1 experience per thing that we can do?
Yeah, for your first point, it's 1. There's like a scaling up thing for your second point. I'd have to look up the table.
Yeah, so each of us, we have listed a number of XP that we can apply to skills. For example, mine lists 7 XP, but that might be different for everyone else's. You said you're playing the Questor.
It's 7 experience as well.
Oh, okay.
So essentially, you're spending your 7 experience points to just buff out in certain things. Like, you already have weapon skill, but in theory, if you wanted to, you could level that up again, get another focus point.
Okay, so you train and then you get focus, right?
So skills have kind of like 2 sides. There's the training and focus. Did we explain what each of those are?
We have not gone over mechanics at all.
Okay. So a character who has training in a skill adds an additional 1d6 per level of training to their dice pool when making a skill test or making a roll. And if you have focus, a character with a focus in a skill gains +1 level of focus to the result of a single die after making a skill test. And focus is what you can use to increase a die result. A single die's result. So, and that's important because in this system, not only can Jon set like a 5 as a difficulty, you have to roll, of your dice, you have to roll a 5 to succeed. Really complicated stuff could be like roll 2 5s or 3 5s. So, oh, look, I rolled a 3 and a 5. Oh, but I need 2 5s. Okay, well, I got 1 and I can use 2 focus to raise my 3 to a 5. So I have 2 5s meeting the success. So D6 is, or training is more dice. Focus is increase your dice results.
Yeah. So on page 41 of the core rulebook, you will find the cost of leveling skills.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what we want.
So for training 1, it's just 1 experience. In training 2, or to get 1 to 2, you need to spend 2 more, and from 2 to 3, it's 4 more.
I love how
So
that's the
max
finishing
out-
touches section of the book too. Anyway, yeah, keep going.
Yeah. To max out a skill in training, it would cost you 7 experience, and it's the same rate for focus as well.
So what's just 1 XP? So how many
3.
points do I get? So 7. I can just spread 7 out over my character and just have no focus.
But you can only spread them out in the skills listed under your archetype.
Your archetype.
Oh, fuck me. Now I have to go back up.
Yeah, and
So, like athletics and
right.
fuck, what's it called?
Yeah, I took a little snip of the little guide for my thing.
A screenshot of it sounds actually really smart.
Windows Shift S and just select the area.
Yeah. And then you also have a core skill, which you automatically get 1 training and 1 focus in for it being your core skill.
Yeah.
I think Coron mentioned that. Yeah. Okay, so I can choose between awareness. Oh man, I wish this sheet. So in the Blades in the Dark spreadsheet, when you hovered over a skill, it would give you like a tooltip with a description of the skill. It was really nice.
Well,
that's okay.
Only 1 guy did this, so I'm gonna let him off the hook.
So I'm gonna just mark the 3rd focus spot on all of my skills, so I can kind of.
I won't though, John. I won't.
Oh, you old shit talk him.
Yep. Should have put an extra fucking 20 minutes in and just done the thing.
Man. Get it together.
Crafting lore? Fuck lore. I know so little about Warhammer lore that I really shouldn't put any points in it.
And then we fight like the first 5 sessions. It's all like, you need to know the lore so that you know how to beat this thing.
I would never do that to you, Millman.
You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. Don't you fucking dare lie to me like that.
If you look at a big demon and you're like, I need to find out this guy's true name so I can banish him back to hell. No. You're gonna go up and you're gonna hit with your fucking weapon. Let's be real.
You know I'm gonna hit him with my stick.
You're gonna hit him with your stick. There's nothing wrong with that. Stick hitting. Out comes the birds? What does that even mean, Tamer? Guys in the chat, I am watching you. So if you have questions you want to add on while these guys do homework, I'm here for your entertainment.
Did I get eidetic memory so John has to take notes for me?
I would never do that for you. You know that's never happened. That would never happen. Ever.
But John, I remember that in perfect detail.
I don't. I'm going to take determination, but get rid of intimidation. I'm not scaring you away. I'm just going to make sure that I can kill you.
Ooh.
I feel like that's pretty
Very
solid.
fair. Don't forget to take some focus points in something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just making sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck theology.
2 more experience. So you could get.
So I can take a focus. So how many do I need for focus? I didn't.
It's the same rate. So for one
One
point
for one?
of focus, it's just 1 experience.
Okay. So
It's okay.
I
I've
need
got
to know
more.
about the fighting system in this. So is it just like D&D, so flat armor to hit and then thing, or is reflexes like
So if
a
you
dodge
scroll
roll
down
essentially?
your character sheet, you'll see combat abilities.
Right. I see that.
There is this neat little system called the ladder. It is a very cute little mechanic, but essentially you are comparing your stats on the 6 grid or 6x3 to your enemies, and that is the rate in which you will hit them. So if you you would probably mostly use weapon skill if you're just going to bludgeon
Yep.
people to death with like a hammer
That's-
or a sword or something.
Yep. Blunt sword. Yep. So I get both worlds.
Yeah, so you would roll your weapon skill or your attack essentially against their armor. So if they had 4 defense, so if they had like average defense for you right now, it would be a 4 to hit them. Excuse me. And then however many dice you hit in your pool, that target number is how much damage you're going to do, along with whatever damage your weapon deals. So if you need to hit 2s and you roll 3 2s, you would do 3 damage to them. It's a very cute thing.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6.
Interesting.
And then fortitude.
You should. So leveling up 1 from 2 costs 2 experience. So you'd be done
fuck
there.
you, game.
Okay.
Okay.
We're a runny boy. There we go. 2,
There you go.
4, 6, 7. Yep. I got to get in there faster. This armor is heavy, yo.
It is very true.
Core talent. So I need to add the talent. Heroic challenge. Oh, so I can just single out the demon lord and be like, let's fuck.
Yeah, basically. You also get to choose 3 more, but if it has an asterisk next to it, like guts, it would have a skill requirement as well.
I'll have to find the list. Where is the list? Can you tell me the page, good sir?
I'm working on it. My PDF is slower because I have multiple things running.
Download it. So you're running it off hard drive? It runs a lot faster. Oh, really?
I've got a lot of stuff going on, Millman. I can't. It is on page. Oh. Equipment, archetypes, between adventures. Where are my... Oh, skills and talents.
Where
talents start on page 82.
And you saw that there's 2 talents you get by default.
He gets 1.
Oh, he gets 1. Oh, get fucked, I get 2.
Indeed.
I thought we were
Spellcasters
friends,
usually
cunt.
get 2
Like,
immediately.
shit. Alright, what was the page, sorry? While I was
82.
getting shit on, I kind of got distracted.
You're great, bro.
Alright. Come on. Holy fuck, it really doesn't like this PDF, does it?
No.
Alright.
It's a big thing. All that hentai slows John's Temmer.
Jesus Christ.
Bro. You can't just
Don't out
out
him
me
like
like
that.
that. Come on, man. So Heroic Challenge lets you do something really cool, and it's only for your class as well. As an action, you get to choose a creature within medium range. We'll talk about zones when like combat actually is a thing. But if the creature attacks any target other than you, its melee and accuracy decrease by 1 step, which should be super useful, turning like a 4 to hit into a 5 to hit. So you may be
Sorry,
able to
boys.
save some
I'll
of your
make sure
friends.
you don't get face fucked.
True.
So I get 2 talents as a branch witch. I get spellcasting Jade. You have studied one of the lores of magic and are able to shape the arcane energy of the realms into powerful spells. When you gain this talent, choose one of the lores of magic listed below, which is Jade. And you learn the spells Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield and can choose 4 more spells from the common spell list and your lore's spell list. And then my other talent is Unbind. You have learned to quickly unravel the winds of magic and can unbind spells before they take effect. When a creature you can see...
That's counterspell.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
Having sick wizard duels is essentially you trying to cast spells that can't be unbound while they are trying to dispel your spells and then counter you.
Right. Perfect.
I don't know if this is the same thing, like in the other games, but from what I have seen from the Warhammer Magic system, it's usually trying to cast like one big thing. That way, you either take away all of the magic in the area and stop your opponents from utilizing it, or they have to spend all of their time dispelling your bullshit. And in effect, you just neutralize their wizard by doing that.
Interesting.
The Emerald lore or the Jade lore is one of my favorites in Total War Warhammer 3.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it offers a lot of alteration. So you can buff the hell out of a unit, or you could drop down a massive area denial thing, which just does a lot of damage. I don't know the exact lores here in this game, but I'd be surprised if they differentiated it.
It says Jade is the magic of growth, healing, and power of nature, which
Perfect.
makes a lot of sense given my archetype.
Yeah. What does Eldritch Secrets give you as a Gnarl Root?
Yes, so being from the Gnarl Root Glade, you are a scholar of arcane arts and have unlocked some of the Eldritch Secrets of Gyron. During character creation, you can create a spell as if you had successfully undertaken the Create Spell Endeavor on page 157 of the core rulebook. You can cast the spell using mind channeling, even if you don't have the spellcasting talent. Additionally, the spellcasting Jade talent is added to the list of available talents on your for your archetype. So, like, it would have become an available option for me. If I were playing a different class under, or a different archetype under the Sylvaneth.
So it would give you a little bit of magic if you weren't essentially already the magic guy.
Right, exactly. Which is really cool. I would have enjoyed having that flexibility.
Well, you don't have to commit to that if you don't want to.
No, I actually really like it.
Okay.
Create spell. There are rules for creating spells, so I will get to go through that at some point soon.
Hell yeah.
That's really exciting. I mean, I'm gonna have a tough enough time picking 4 more spells. So I'm gonna get started on that.
You go for it. How are you looking, Coron?
No, I'm doing okay. How mad at me are you gonna be if I ask to replace one of my talents with something else?
Yes.
Very mad? Okay. I won't do that then.
We don't power game here, fucker. What are you? You are a battlesmith. So you get a legendary saga as your core talent. What does that do?
Basically it's the main thing, like it's that I will probably be doing in combat most of the time. It gives you like one of 3 options that you make a entertain test and help your team.
Interesting.
You can like make the spellcaster have more complex spells. You can increase melee accuracy.
Alrighty. I'm taking...
And there's a 3rd thing.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're great, bro. What's up?
I'm verbalizing what I'm doing. I'm taking bulk walk, which is a bulwark. Sorry.
Great.
When I'm fighting 2 or more enemies at close range, you start with a higher defense. I'm taking underdog while starting a fighting. When fighting, you fight better with your back into a corner. If you're fighting 2 or more creatures at close range, you start with extra melee. And then we will take, I think we'll go with guts. So guts is for every point that I have in fortitude, I gain 1 in toughness.
Okay, perfect. Toughness is equivalent to hit points in this game. There, rather than having death saves, you have this system called wounds. When you hit 3 wounds, you're essentially mortally wounded and are then making death saves. So it's quite tough to kill a Soulbound. Most monsters don't even get wounds. Only champions and chosen do, which are the toughest monsters in the game. Like a greater demon or bloodthirster has like 7 or so mortal wounds. So making sure you don't go down too fast is really important for you, especially if you're going to be frontlining and swinging a massive sword.
Wanna see my sword?
Armor just full on mitigates damage that are not armor pen. So if you have 2 armor, you would subtract 2 damage. So if a rat man hits you for 2 damage and you have 2 armor, you just don't suffer anything. Yep, they just straight up bounce off your armor. There are some weapons or weapon tags called ineffective, which can only do toughness damage. So even if you are at 0 toughness and you cannot be mortally wounded from them, so you just will cleave them down eventually. I think one of the main strats is to just
become a battle turtle.
Yeah. There's also a system that lets you get your wounds and your toughness back. Like Soulfire, for instance, can, I believe, just give you all of your toughness back if you burn one. Whether that is a thing to do or not in that situation, of course, will be situational.
All right.
You only get limited Soulfire. Metal is also a character resource, which you will probably use every turn, Millman. It essentially can be spent to just give you another action.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna burn through that shit like key, man.
True. We'll go over some of these more annoying mechanics, or not annoying so much as minutia. After we're done with most of character creation. Once we're onto inventory, I think we can kind of stop, and we can just do our own inventories on our own.
Chat, I need a random number between 50 and 200.
Jesus. 69 says Rumble Roar.
74 says Temmer. Looking at spells, it's so interesting because I don't have the experience of what like these difficulty numbers mean, like a 5-3. Like intellectually I know, I would have to roll 3 5s to get that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like I'm not gonna do that because I don't know what I'm base rolling. I guess I'm rolling mind channeling for spells, right?
It would be mind channeling.
Okay, so that's okay. So that'd be rolling 5 dice. The chance of me getting 3 5s to do like whip vines sounds really difficult right now.
So about magic, if you fail to hit your number, that does not mean you do not finish casting that spell.
I
don't think that is how it works.
Okay, good to know.
To my knowledge, you can continue to channel until you succeed.
Oh, gotcha.
It would just roll into your next turn. Don't quote me on that. That's what I know from 4th edition.
Okay.
But,
4th edition.
Warhammer.
Okay.
Fantasy game.
Okay.
I could be wrong, so I'll make sure before we actually start casting spells.
So, yeah, one of those things that John sent out had a little guide of like, here's how many dice you're rolling, and here's, whether that's hard, easy, or super freaking hard.
Yeah, I saw this table, and I see you just sent it to me as well. That's really nice.
Like a 5-3 at... like, it is very hard to impossible depending on the amount of dice you roll.
A 5-3 is really hard. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the harder ones for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and
there are also
fucking-
ways for spellcasters to help one another cast as well.
oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm
So if there were multiple spellcasters in your party, like one of you could be like, hey, we really need this one spell, help me channel. And for that guy's action, he would just donate you, not his dice, but a number of dice equal to, I don't remember exactly. I want to say it's like half of their channeling. But essentially, you just get more dice to roll.
Both characters need to be in the same zone. The character casting the spell adds 1d6 to their dice pool, plus an additional 1d6 per level of training and channeling that the assisting caster has.
Oh.
If they
That's
both
super good, then.
if they both share a lore of magic, so if like two of us had jade magic, add another d6 to the dice pool. If the spell fails, both characters suffer the effects. Let me go look at casting spells and failure.
So essentially what you want is a little goblin who follows you around, able to cast jade magic. Just be like, I need you to channel for me, little goblin. Hello, yes, I'm a branch wraith, and this is my channeling goblin. Say hello.
He's like, nah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Summon the warp.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at the point. I might not have all the text pasted in, but I think I've selected my skills, selected my talents. At the very least.
Oh, your name is literally Coron. Dope.
I mean, I haven't chosen a name yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what
That was
you.
what you
that's
put
what
there.
you put, John.
Corn. You are corn.
I could just leave it.
Is that? I guess.
I mean, I don't see the
We're
problem.
like, wait, are you the blood god? Do we need to kill you now?
No.
No, thank you.
Wow, you get 5 talents. Hell yeah. Oh,
Well, one of
them
them is from
your
background.
Background, yeah. What does Observant Bulwark or Blessed Grimnir do?
Blessed Grimnir is the thing that gives you miracles.
Okay.
So I will also have miracles, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Have you put the descriptors of what these talents do? With it?
Yeah, for most of them. I haven't done it for Blessed yet.
Okay. So I'm just testing your character sheet.
Alrighty, what's the next thing I need to do, John? So we've got attribute, skills, talents.
Have you done your
Description?
background yet?
Alright, where the fuck is the background page? Let's go.
That is for you
'Cause
on page.
There was a fuckload of text there, and I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure where to start.
It's on page 58 for you. You essentially pick between Hammers of Sigmar, Hollowed Knights, Celestial Vindicators, Anvils of the Helden Hammer, Knights Excelsior, or the Celestial Warbringers, or the Tempest. Okay, this goes on forever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There was a lot of fucking text there.
Yeah. So at the bottom of each one of those columns will have your little extra feature. So like Storm of Annihilation or Fearless Foresight. Those will, you just look to see which one you want, or you look for the flavor text and you just pick one.
Wait, what book is that one in?
That is in Champions of Order, page
Okay.
58.
That's the one I've got here in front of me. Alright, cool. So, Hollowed Knights, blah, 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 blah. Too much text. Let's just highlight the part I've read so I don't get confused.
So they get a thing called We Cannot Fail, called the Hammers of Sigmar.
Only in Faith is Hollowed Knights. We Cannot Fail as Hammer of Sigma, which is...
It seems only the faithful get an extra miracle, which you can use with your metal. Miracles are all about the metal mechanic.
Did I take determination? I did. So essentially, if I take We Cannot Fail, you guys get extra dice for my determination.
Ooh.
Pretty cool.
When your wound track is partially filled and you are at 0 toughness, you and your allies in your zone gain additional dice equal to your training in determination on all attacks. That's pretty good.
So you're saying I shouldn't heal you?
Yes.
Probably not, yeah. It seems to be a recovery mechanic if you're really getting your shit kicked in. So, if you do take that, make sure to remember to use it.
Righteous hatred. What's this one do? You're consumed with vengeance. It's, dedicated to annihilation of those who consider responsible for the worst suffering. Choose one of. Oh, okay. This is just chosen enemy essentially.
Yeah, you deal +1 damage against enemies of that type. Additionally, the old enemy talent, page 76, is added to the list of available talents for your archetype, so you may be able to get an extra talent.
Ooh, no true death. If you go down, essentially you just take one of the negative, like take -1 from your death test when you're reforged. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, right, I don't have to worry about you dying as much because you'll be.
Yeah.
If you fail a death test, though, you immediately die regardless of how many death tests you have. So,
yeah,
if you fuck up, bro, that may be just suddenly they're like, "Wait, where did Millman go?" Just a
big lightning
explosion happens. Like, oh fuck! Now we gotta wait 2 weeks for that dumb fuck to find us again.
102.
Well, that's it. You're just straight dead, right? You just explode.
Yeah.
When you undertake an endeavor or direct action, reduce doom, decrease it by 2 more. Nah, fuck that noise. I want all the doom. You
the doom mechanic in this game is kind of punishing in a way because
that's the idea.
Essentially gives me the GM. It tells me to throw harder shit at you until it's like you're fighting chosen at every fucking fight. It's like, all right, well, 3 bloodthirsters show up. Have fun.
Well, see y'all later.
Just torn apart. Ugh.
It doesn't expose any of that in like the part that I read. It's just like, oh, it'll make it more grim and dark.
Cool.
Fuck that noble bonds bullshit. Dauntless hunter, you seek out your foes. Nah, I'm not a tracker. What else we got?
That's it, bud.
Wait. Ghost light. Target.
Let's go righteous hatred.
All right, then you are of the celestial vindicators. You are revenge given form.
Revenge incarnate.
Oh, that can be a little bit interesting, because essentially you're gonna get kicked out of your warband. So does that mean you weren't vengeful enough, or does that mean like they do not have time for you because you're just weaker than everyone else?
Too busy, bro.
They just fucking
I need
cut you
to
loose.
focus.
They're like, you're dead weight, lol, see ya, nerd.
Bro, you need to chill on the murder hoboing, but I must murder hobo.
In the oh, they're from Coron. That is the realm of metal.
Do I put it under talents? The background feat?
Yes. Additionally, you could, if you have not finished picking your talents, or if you have, you can just switch one out. So it looks like you could switch out Bulwark, Underdog, or Guts, and instead get Old Enemy.
Oh, fuck that. I don't need a reoccurring cunt that I can't kill. What is this, anime?
True. Very true. You don't want to be the one who got murdered by Archaon.
I don't want to be that guy that I have to fight this guy in Fairy Tail every 6 seasons, right? Like, because I never actually kill him. I'm just like, we'll fight again later, and he was like, we'll be back again.
But I love having an old enemy, guys. Come on.
All right. Notes, goals, connections. Oh, where's the equipment section? Let's go to that fun part of the game.
We will deal with after the stream.
Oh, because there's a big sword and armor.
Yeah.
A big sword.
We'll move on.
All right, what's the
Apollo,
next?
are you ready?
Soul.
Yeah, I'm just entering my last spell.
Oh, you're finished with your spell.
Oh
lightning
yeah, I still have to
hands
do talents. Oops.
Okay. We'll worry about your talents later.
Yeah.
We've been at this section for a little while.
Yeah.
And most of this is like busy work that no one really cares about. But I want to talk about some stuff. How good are we on time? We're an hour and 17 minutes in. Okay, we can go for a little bit longer before we take our first break. Okay. Follow. Finish up. We're moving on.
Okay.
So, guys, welcome to the Great Parch. This is where our campaign will kind of start. If not, it's where we will spend at least our first story arc within. It's got a lot going on. It's in the Plane of Fire. You can read all about it. Here, let me show you. Go to everyone. I went to the liberty of copying and pasting all of the histories from the core rulebook for all the realms we're going to. This one is called Akish, also known as the Realm of Fire, also known as the Great Parch, or part of it is known as the Great Parch. Most of the core rulebook centers around this because they expect you to have cool adventures here in this realm of fire and blood. Hammer Hall is where you guys will not necessarily start, but is the most influential city of this entire area. It has a massive waygate or portal that leads to the realm of life, known as Gyron, where, hey, we got a branch wraith. You know where that comes from, right? Or branch witch? Fuck, what are you? Are you a branch witch or wraith?
Branch witch.
Witch, okay.
He's not
understood.
dead yet. He's not a wraith.
Indeed. I just know there's a wraith in there somewhere.
I thought all the gates could go to all the other gates.
Some, for sure.
Okay.
But it's not like a Stargate, right? You don't activate a code. Instead, it is just sort of connected to some place.
Thank you for the Stargate reference, John. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. I understood what you were going for. So this grand portal is several hundred feet tall and even wider than that. And it is just a one-to-one gateway between one city called Hammer Hall, Akish, and then the other one in Hammer Hall, Gyron, I think it's called. It's in the lore somewhere. Lots of trade happens between these two settlements where essentially they're giving you guys magical water, which is what your currency will be based off of, in exchange for lava and other sorts of goods that can only come here. Gyron is the realm of life. It's filled with plagues, insects, and vegetation that will not stop growing. So lava is a very invaluable resource to them because it burns shit. Similarly, this place does not have many bodies of water, and those that have been naturally formed have been corrupted by chaos. So the lifeblood of this land in the Great Parch comes from an entirely different realm. Water is going to be a pretty important resource to you guys, not just to drink, but also to purify the land. As we have sort of stated earlier, you're defenders of civilization, and part of doing that is purification. And that kind of leads us into the next thing I really want to talk about with you all of what do you guys see yourselves doing as your main role? Are we wanting to go out and hunt chaos warbands? Are we actively seeking the destruction of our enemies? Or are we going from town to town trying to solve problems, kind of like the Scooby-Doo gang, but just a little bit more violent? Where do you guys see yourselves within this world?
I know Coron and Millman that you two are a lot more familiar with the fiction. So I would actually
shaking his head like, nah.
Oh, really? Well, Coron, you know more than me. So like if there are elements of this fiction that you really want to engage with, and are aware of, I am happy to like defer to you.
No. So really just think about what you want out of this. Like, what do you want to see out of this campaign? Do you want to see more? Do you want to just kill shit? Or do we want to explore the world in a different aspect? Because essentially, if you want to murder hobo for a few hours every so often, we can do that. We will just fight an never-ending war. It'll be sick. Or we can essentially go, we pick and choose. You get a bit of lore and a bit of fighting, and we can go that other route, right? We're searching down a particular foe. Or we can do, another route, whatever is giving us as the third option, right? Because a never-ending war is literally that. We go through a teleporter, we pop out, and there'll be demons for us to kill in the name of the great Emperor Sigmar, right?
Ooh.
And then, roll the dice on insert generic demon 1, 2, and 5. Because 3 and 4 got fucked.
Yeah, I'm kind of overwhelmed with all like my, it feels like just looking at my background, I have like 6 personal goals just set up for me as a character.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Right now I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with that, and I haven't thought about the party stuff.
Okay.
So a key trick with that is don't focus down on your own personal character goals, because otherwise you're just going to solo adventure it, right? We'll just be the side characters. Pick one that you like the idea of. Pitch it in a situation where we can all partake. For instance, if one of your goals is to kill X, right? If one of us has an overlapping X, we can all just target that one X so that everybody gets a bit of juice.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I don't care if I don't level up. If there's some character feature that I'm like, oh, if you do this quest, killing this guy, you get this. I'm like, nah, fuck that. We're all running down, Cornate demons because the boys want to kill Cornate demons. Let's go.
You are hitting up on a lot of things, which I was going to hit up. So first of all, fuck you.
I got you.
There are mechanical things known as short-term goals and long-term goals, which give out rewards if you accomplish them. So a short-term goal might be like the quest of the session of like, we're trying to do X and now we have completed it. John, give me my 1 experience point, you son of a bitch. Additionally, there are individual short-term and long-term goals, which a short-term goal should be able to roughly be done within a session. A long-term goal could take anywhere from 1 to 5 or 5 to 10 or like an entire campaign, essentially. So I'm not gonna worry too much about the party ones right now. So I'm more interested in like long-term individual goals for you all. If we don't come up with anything, that's also perfectly fine. If we want to see what naturally happens and then like make our goals based off that stuff, John's going to be shotgunning out ideas to see what's going to stick, but this isn't Skyrim where we're going down like the checklist of things to do before we end, right?
I mean, the most obvious thing that my character would be doing out here would be looking for another place to set up a Magna hold for my people.
Okay. That leads directly into exploration, obviously. One of the cool things about Age of Sigmar is anything outside of the city is considered like hostile territory. So part of defending civilization is, of course, getting new lands, not just defending the stuff that you have. Expansion is going to be super important. Surveying is going to be super important. And then reclaiming lost territory that has just dwindled but still has things worthy to invest within. not to spoil anything, but the first session, which I've kind of adapted from a couple modules, will be based around that idea of people have gone out into the wilderness and are setting up a settlement, and you guys have been tasked to help that settlement while its leadership is essentially gone. So we're already hitting up the big hero check marks, as well as we'll have exploration, combat, all the good stuff. But after that is kind of where I'm looking to prep for now. So we've got one guy who wants to explore the world and find a new magma hole location, or maybe even reclaim an old one that's been abandoned.
Abandoned.
Yeah, abandoned.
Oh, look, they left all their ore gold.
What about our branch witch character? There's a lot of stuff that we can go off of with just being a plant person who's no longer part of a forest. And your Gnarlroot background leads directly into, I must investigate the soul binding because these people are way more powerful than they should be, and it can help my group, right?
Yeah.
My dude. Investigating one of your party members. My dude.
Yeah. I think like learning about the people from this world will obviously be like fundamental early on, as I'm like, I've been sent to this world to like meet up with these people that I suddenly have this unchosen relationship with. So yeah, I think that'll just naturally come. I'm curious if there are like forces at work that want to forces at work in this plane, this realm, that are also threatening my realm, like directly.
Everyone's directly threatening you, right?
Yeah.
If Hammerhall goes down, civilization in Gyron is infeasible, essentially.
Right, yeah. So I think helping thwart the enemies of Hammerholm, you said? Or Hammerhall?
Hammerhall, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so like if you have any threats in mind of Hammerhall, or you want to cook any up, like I'm happy to take a direct interest in dealing with those so that we can like, you know, secure our relationship between our peoples and make sure that my home is safe. And maybe the enemies are without and maybe within. Who knows?
Oh, for sure. It sounds like you're looking for a, and tell me if I'm wrong, of course, but it sounds like you're looking kind of for a antagonist almost.
Yeah.
Who is directly one-to-one against your party, or you're actively trying to hunt him down.
Sure.
So rather than Voldemort's hunting down Harry Potter, the protagonist, you are Harry Potter hunting down Voldemort.
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be really interesting and give me like some specific fiction and a specific enemy to like sink my teeth into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Millman, what about you? Any ideas? Any concepts? You're this vengeful warrior who got kicked
I was
out
gonna
of your
say,
band.
murder hobo for the sake of murder hobo. But
John, everything you give me, I want to be able to justify to just put him down.
just like, we go to this really nice village. It seems too calm. Somebody here is tainted with chaos, and to just start murdering people. He was chaotic. No, I think even death will serve. So I guess it'll be. I'm not going the Inquisitor route, right? We'll go everywhere. I don't mind doing everybody else's quests and then just rooting out, you know, chaos. But I feel like giving us something, well, me, something to actually, because like essentially in the lore that I've read, and obviously the background here, I'm just made for killing shit, right? like
Yeah, you
literal
are
battle
a-
turtle. Yeah, right. Even in death, I get a reroll, right? So,
Yep.
I think
Somebody sounds like an orc. Just complaining about it's been 6 hours since we last killed something. Jeez.
no, orcs are they don't want to die. They just want to get bigger, and if they die, more babies spawn from their corpse. Warhammer orcs, baby. It's disgusting, but
You just went off.
My brain went down that thing of like just orc blood everywhere, and then a bunch of Gretchen come out of the ground. So that's actually how it works, Nick. I'll explain it to you later.
Get off of orcs! Come on!
Why did he say it?
I said one thing. I said one joke, and you just ran with it
I love
far.
orcs, okay? If orcs were an option, I would have played a fucking orc. I love orcs in this world. But yeah, I guess let's kill some demons. Like that's my game. Right? Like I want to kill some demons in this. I want to know what they're like in this system.
Okay.
Like demons are OP as shit. So like don't throw, a pack of demons at us, but just have like one demon and a bunch of corpus or something.
You don't get to make those requests. I'll throw as many packs of demons as I goddamn well please. There's an infinite number of demons here.
I know there is. It's gonna be a good time. But I can see already.
Interested in I'm gonna keep talking. Fuck you, I guess.
Yeah, go for it. Throw your idea at me, because I didn't have a lot of ideas when it came to this. Because I was like, I'll fill a party. I don't want to be a key star in this bad boy. I'll make my star moments, but like, I'm more to just have a good time.
One of the cool things about Storm hosts and what the rulebook kind of hints at to give people more dynamic viewings of them is you were once a human or mortal creature, and that life has essentially been robbed of you. Not in the sense that, I mean, you were already dead when you were reforged, right? But essentially some god was like, oh, cool soul, I'm gonna give this to Sigmar so that he can put it into a body. And naturally you're heroic, and naturally you are, already a star in terms of mortal comparison, right? You were already at a super top, but now that essence that made you what you were is kind of gone. You're a machine. You don't have organs. You have a metal body that sometimes looks human or fleshy, but it is made out of metal. How much are you willing to, or wanting to even, not even willing, wanting to engage with that? Are you feeling like a little bit of an existential philosopher right now, Millman?
Oh, are we gonna do this? I was a human. Am I still a human? Because I mean, if you want to go down that route, I will definitely play that ball. Like, I'm fighting for my homeland because that's what I did when I died. Never will I stop fighting for my homeland. I could feel that. Because like I guess heroes in general wouldn't be heroes unless they were forced to be. It's not how that works. As much as people like to think in movies and stuff, that's how it works. No. Most foot soldiers and heroes in war were just people who were made to be there. So I can see how that works. Like I can see, yeah, we can go down that route, and we can go like, obviously the hero that obviously goes, well, I keep fighting this never ending war for the same bit of land, and like them going over it. Like, my life has literally been to serve for this spot, died for this spot, and now I'm fighting over the same piece of shit. We're getting nowhere.
Oh. You're in a never-ending war, and now you have been malforged and have been sent to a different group, essentially. So there's a lot to like grapple with, and an internal struggle. But you just want to kill demons like Doom Guy. Fuck it, right?
Fuck yeah, let's Doom Guy this shit. I'm here for the quest. Is there demons? No demons. Let me know when there's demons.
Yeah, you've been reforged 4 times, which means you've died 5 times. Like, what does that do to a mind?
Well, normally it wouldn't do anything, right? But my understanding from the it was which specific archetype was it? The knight incantors, like they're the ones trying. Apparently, like the process for reforging is kind of broken, and every time they get reforged, they like lose a little piece of themselves. And the knight incantors, the reason I was really interested in them at first was because their goals, or they are specifically trying to figure out why the process is broken.
You're making a body with a soul that isn't from that body.
See,
But,
he's got
you
the
know.
answers, bro.
Yeah, like
Just ask this guy.
I got you, homie.
Okay, well,
Souls are made for the OG body, not the secondaries. Gosh.
okay, fair enough.
Well, I've got a small list of party goals, or at least campaign goals, not the mechanical one. What is next on my little thing?
I actually had a question about something you said about the world before. So you said that water is going to be like a very precious resource.
Yeah,
Magic water.
In this
here
world.
specifically.
What about on this this plane.
Yeah.
But the one I'm from, water is more abundant.
It's not just abundant, it is damn near magical.
Okay.
One of the main things that the Sylvaneth have like a problem with all the other order guys. Because there's like a loose alliance, right? So the forces of order will skirmish against one another, and for good reason most of the time. Like if a group of free peoples go on an expedition to Gyron solely to take the purification water out of that realm and take it to wherever they're from, there will be less to fight against the forces of Nurgle. It could seriously damage their environment. So
right.
The Sylvaneth are kind of the most isolated in terms of all of the free peoples, solely because they are the ones protecting this magical water that most realms need.
Okay. Okay, that then some of the like thematic choices I was making for my character's look will work then. I was really worried that it wouldn't. Because I've chosen some like seaweed themes and sea smell. And I think that is really amusing to me, that the people of this world really, really want water. And I think my character will have a hard time with how lacking that this world is in water.
I have brought us to the lovely Cosmos map. So this is all of the realms in a nutshell and how they're kind of interconnected. We are at the very bottom in the 6 o'clock position on our map. Over there in Akish. So Akish has a lot of good things going for it resource-wise. It is the land of fire, and it is also a land of warmth. So a lot of things, despite Gyron being the realm of life, a lot of things grow better in Akish, or in the realm of fire. The main problem is that their temperature goes down in the night, but as long as you're kind of close to the ground or the lower grounds where there are lava flows and stuff like that, will always be warm. So in Gyron, you may put down a wheat field or try to, and find that it has grown into weeds overnight, and there is now a forest of barbed wire shaped wheat that you must now figure out how to deal with. In the realm of fire, it's just normal wheat, which is super nice.
Right.
all of these places have a lot of threats going against them. Ish and Ulgu, the realms of light and shadow, are binding Slanesh, who is now influencing the realms and kind of destroying them from the outside in. This is where most of the Shadow Elves come from, like Malekith, and these are where Teclis and Tyrion are from, and Aish. Azir is where Sigmar is, in the universal north of this cosmos. This is where you guys will make your soul binding and then be sent somewhere.
Okay.
It's also the most protected. Gyron, we've been over a bunch now. Gur is also really neat. We may go over there in the next arc, or I don't know. I like Gur. There's a lot of orcs. There's a lot of ogres. Giants live here. Megafauna. There's some cool shit going on there. Kamon, surprisingly, for being in the realm of metal and having so much goddamn gold, also has the least amount of like maps made for it. There's only like one continent map I've been able to find. And apparently Zeech is the one, the main fuckboy who's over there, who really likes their rivers of silver. And
Zinch?
Shaiish. I'm sorry?
Is it Zinch you're talking about?
Zeech, Zinch, however you pronounce that motherfucker's name.
Oh, I was just making sure they hadn't changed the character names, okay?
I don't think they have. I think I just mispronounced it.
Okay, it's Zinch. I got you, homie.
Thanks. Shaiish is where Nagash lives. This is where the Necroquake happened, awoke all of the dead in all of the realms except for Gyron. Gyron absolutely shit-stomped all of the undead that rose up. Because it just got reclaimed by the land. And finally, we have the Varen Spire, where the Everchosen, known as Archaon, currently lives. This is like the ultimate bad guy of the settings location, and he is invading every realm through it, except for Azir, which is cut off.
That's convenient.
Super convenient. Finally, there are Viscaven, which are like the chaotic aligned but too stupid to be effective creatures, who are kind of their own independent faction. They kind of worship Nurgle, but also kind of don't.
Rat boys.
Yeah, the rat boys. So they are also just fucking around doing everything. One of the funniest things about them in the lore is Nagash would have succeeded in wiping out all of the cosmos if like 6 rat guys didn't show up and like touch the big red button before it was ready to go off. So it kind of, they have saved the universe, but also like they're so incompetent while also humorous. Like, I don't know whether to treat them as like, just how did they do it? It's like the fucking Pinky in the Brain.
The key thing that people forget is the Chaos Gods aren't working together. They're fighting over the food that is everything else.
That's
so
good.
Like if you let's just say we were stuck in a big war with certain kinds of demons and the demons were winning, but then like Cornite demons showed up, they were like, oh, we missed out on this big bloody war, and they will start fighting the other demons over the remaining people.
Essentially. In terms of threats to expect, obviously we have our good old undead, which will be kind of omnipresent. They're everywhere except for Gyron, really. Even there, they still have like one holdout, I believe. But here, the undead in these ancient kingdoms and cities that litter the deserts and follow the now corrupted rivers, undead still kind of hang out. It's funny, Nagash is my grandfather's name. Oh shit.
Oh man, that actually sounds cool as hell. Like going to like an old like magma hold and clearing it out of like undead.
Oh yeah.
That would be sick as hell.
Nurglite undead, baby.
True. Coron has the most. Coron is a blood god of chaos. He is the most martially focused. He doesn't have any sorcerers or magicians on his sides, but he does have items that sort of cancel out or weaken magical effects. His warbands roam the deserts constantly, along with just general chaotically aligned free people, I suppose. I don't know if you can consider them free.
Can I add extra snippet?
Yeah, what's up?
So with Core Knight, I'll add extra snippets for every time he goes over them. So Core Knight worshippers, because he's corrupted courage and strength, right? So essentially, you want to rule by force, and their whole thing is you keep fighting to keep feeding your god, because he enjoys the joy of battle. So they're going to be looking for people to fight with.
Yeah. So those warbands are just going to be kind of a constant threat. Ratmen have a habit, or Skaven as they're known, just have a habit of showing up places to pursue their own weird agendas. They like subterranean spaces and often compete with the dwarves and the Duarden for space.
Is it my turn to put a random note in here?
Yeah.
I think there's like a thing where like they learn to somehow harness the power of like the Urgold, the stuff that powers the dwarves, by eating the dead of the dwarves.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what they use instead of warpstone. Maybe they still use warpstone. I doubt it, because that was a
from memory. They don't know how it works. They just know that that's how you use it from memory.
Well, I don't even know if warpstone's a resource in Age of Sigmar, since the moon like blew up, right? So maybe they're still. I'm gonna need to look into the Skaven if we're gonna deal with them.
Just throw stinky arrow boys at us. I love rat boys. They're so fucking funny, because like it's like there's 5,000 of them and you got like 3 heroes. It's like, so it's another Wednesday. But like at the same time, if that 5,000 rat people roll through an area, like all the villages and everything are fucked. Like they just destroy everything.
Yeah.
But if there's one hero there, it's like, it's a Tuesday. Here, hold my beer, young boy.
Anywhere there are forests, usually Nurgle and the orcs are kind of like right there along with them. So there's a lot to contend with in this realm. And that's not even going over like all of the civilized factions here. Like Anvilgard is mostly elves, strangely enough. And like the deep water fastness, wherever that is, that might be in Gyron actually, is like all dwarves. But like there are pirates, there are things underneath the more calmer oceans where the Ideneth Deepkin are. There's just a lot to deal with, and who knows where our adventures are going to take us. They may all be centered around Hammerhall, or they may go out into the wilderness where we have to go find volcanic beasts and other sorts of creatures. Any questions about the immediate setting? So like the stuff we'll be doing within the first couple sessions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because Hammerhall City is pretty cosmopolitan. Like, there's a lot of different people there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's... I'm seeing if I have a little handout. I made tiny little handouts to just share on Roll20, but there are a couple million people in Hammerhall, I want to say. Their main gate is guarded by a storm host, so several thousand Stormcast Eternals, as well as the Mortal.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Hammerhall is like the biggest city in all of the realms.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Except for Azerheim, I feel.
Okay. So bindings, these groups of soulbound people, are they common as well? Like, you just described there being thousands of Stormcast just in this city alone, guarding the front door.
Stormcasts are not part of a soul binding.
Right.
They are their own thing entirely.
Sure. It sounds like they are very common. What about bindings?
Bindings are more rare in terms of the lore.
Okay.
From what I understand and how they want me for the parties in the game to treat the soul binding is they are a prototype of the Stormcast Eternal system. Of we are connecting souls together to amplify their physical power in the world. So in essence, they're like an alpha team that has just sort of held on and is a tool that gods use. Sigmar, I believe, made the first one during the Age of Myths.
Okay.
Like, right when the worlds were like resettling and like people were coming back out, soulbound people would band together to go fight the chaos that was a lot weaker back in the day.
Okay.
When the Age of Chaos hit and slammed down hard, most of the people who were soulbound fucking died. And now, after Sigmar came back, he's now reintroducing mortals who aren't good enough to be Stormcast Eternals together so that they can at least be helpful.
Gotcha. Okay.
Narratively, one of the downsides to being in a soul binding is you don't get an afterlife. Your soul is burnt as fuel for your party members.
Gotcha.
Which has some implications.
Gotcha.
Obviously.
Okay.
Do you want to take our first break here? And when we come back, we will kind of wrap up.
Sounds good. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Age of Soulbound campaign, where we don't talk about Sigmar right now. Instead, we're going to talk about how we're going to get our group together. Specifically in session 1, and where we kind of want to start. I have been batting around in my head whether to just start you off media res style. You're in the action, you're already on your way to the mission or doing whatever it is you need to do to get there. As I said earlier, your first little your first little story arc to get us introduced to the campaign of the world will be going out into a deserted territory where a settlement has secretly been built up and defend it while their lords and protectors are off somewhere doing something else. Do we want to just start in the action, or do we want to like hit chronologically of like we are going to go through the soul binding and just start from there and even go stick around maybe the first town called Azurheim, where you are essentially bound together? Or do we want to have a more action-packed session 1?
Can we approach it at an angle that has both? Because I don't see an ADD break halfway through, right? So if we have a session 1 that is very story bound, it may feel dull.
Okay.
I'm not saying that as like, I don't want to know. I'll sit through lore 48 hours a day, right? Like I soak lore like a motherfucker, but I know from, you know, I make videos and stuff that like a lore video, either the crew are there to watch a lore video or they're going to need some sort of, you know, stimulus. Otherwise, yeah, you're just putting everybody to sleep. We become background noise.
Okay. Coron is drooling at the talk of lore.
I mean, I think it would be nice to have some exposition about what actually entering the soul binding looks like, but then I'm happy to like hand wave to, oh hey, we're at the town where we're doing stuff.
Okay. I think we may have like a jump cut then of like we start with the soul binding, time passes, and then we are there at the town then, or the first arc. I have a couple of background characters that I want to introduce to you all before session 1 even, because they are essentially, well, they are essential to you guys being a soul binding. Sigmar is a god king. He facilitated your soul binding. So the reason why we have a branch witch, a Duarden from Shaiish, and one of his Stormcast Eternals is because he has gathered you, or you have volunteered for a reason. As we said, there are several implications to being in a soul binding, such as you don't get an afterlife. When you die, your soul is consumed like fuel for your living party members. Excuse me.
I think for me, especially playing a character coming from a different world, like an entirely different world, like meeting these characters and establishing those kind of first impressions, and some of our not stereotypes, but like assumptions about each other will be really important for interactions. But I totally agree, like once we have that big powerful moment of soul binding, we can just like jump to the action next. Like I think that'll totally be fine.
Sounds good. I'm actually gonna write that.
May seem distracted, but really I'm making a cheat sheet while listening. I am listening.
You're great, bro.
Oh no, because I've noticed. I actually watched a couple of our VODs. Fucking holy shit. Yeah, there's lots of sections there. I'm looking completely gone. I'm not paying attention. I am, but at the same time I am making a cheat sheet.
I'm like, I'm going to need a cheat sheet of characters. I'm going to need a cheat sheet of places, of gods.
Oh, I will show you mine after the stream. I might even put it into the Discord for those who want to see it. Like, I've actually clipped and screenshot and everything to make, like, everything I need for murder hoboing. Fair. And my character for the actual, like, mechanics part.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Oh, I love it. Okay. So that's Sigmar, right? He's this god king. He's overseen a 8-front war all across the mortal realms, trying to combat chaos. And ultimately, his goal, we're going back to the Cosmos map. Sigmar has this grand vision that everyone kind of knows about, which is to stabilize the realms all around here, so that he can then make a concerted effort to take over the Barren Spire. This is like the dream. He desperately wants the Barren Spire because from there, rapid redeployment to everywhere will be possible. And it is super bad that Chaos is in control of it because Chaos now has rapid deployment into everywhere.
Right.
Save for Azir. They have to take the slow route if they want to threaten that.
He wants to go from defense to offense.
He does. The main problem is transportation within the realms. So, why Hammerhall is the biggest is because it directly connects to Gyron. All the other gates are super small and cannot be constantly opened. So, getting more gates open, connecting the realms to be in control of his storm hosts rather than just randomly out there in the wilderness under the control of whoever the fuck. He wants those portals. He wants stable zones so that then they can all go into the Barren Spire at one time. Purge it, take it over, clean it out, and then use it. Excuse me. As the soul binding, your jobs are to help stabilize the realms. Your missions will be given to you by not Sigmar himself, because he's a busy guy, as gods are. But he has now dictated a Stormcast Eternal, much like Millman's character, whatever Millman's character's name eventually will be, to oversee his many soul bindings. You are going to be one of his first, like in a group effort, essentially. I don't know about the narrative farce of how he's recruiting people, if he's literally just going around throwing flyers everywhere, or if he's like asking well-to-do / semi-divine creatures like, hey, you got any guys who you don't want, but who could be super useful? So maybe your branch witch got volunteered, Nick. Or maybe our Dwarden friend heard that, oh, this guy's clearing out once chaotic places. Maybe I can find a magma hold for my kin, and then send word to them. Excuse me. So we're gonna figure that one out probably over the course of this next week. Water. So this guy who is the delegator and the leader of the soul binding under Sigmar is known as the Stormfire Marshal. This guy will be your main hub NPC, so whenever like a mission's done, he will always be able to find you work if you don't have anything you guys want to do. And he will also facilitate your travel. So if like, oh, hey bud, we figured out the enemy we were chasing in Akish actually went to Gur. Can you help us out there? He'll be like, well, not for free. Or something of the similar sort. I think I'm going to do what I normally do for all of my campaigns, which is give players like 1 to 3 background NPCs that can be relatively easy to get a hold of. So maybe not if you're in a different realm, but if you are in the same realm, you can find them in a stable zone. So for Nick specifically, I want to be able to get you like an ent or some sort of master who taught you your witchcraft.
Yeah.
Because you are a pod person who is how old? How old's your pod person?
I rolled really low. I rolled a 2 times 3 times 4 for age. I'm only 24.
Okay.
I rolled like average.
I'm nearly 20 something times older than you. That's insane.
Yep.
Oh god.
So
I might yeah. Wow. I'm very, very young. I was expecting like
You're a sprite, baby. You're a
yeah, I was expecting the Sylvaneth to be much older, but I guess they're
yeah, they live
Well, you're a
very rough
tree
lives in
person.
Gyron.
Yeah, you're not going to live very long, but you're going to live a very fulfilled life because you're a tree person.
yeah, if I
are a
had
tree person.
if I had hyper crit, I could have been 216, but I rolled low.
You're a Spriggan.
I
Yes.
also want to have a character for you, Coron, who is also named Nick. Fuck. Specifically
All the
on
NPCs.
who the leader of your lodge is. Because if you are going out essentially as a scout on your own and sacrificing your soul to give your lodge and your people a new home, it makes sense that you're able to send a message to them or meet with them. I don't know if they are still in Shaiish or if they are now like refugees almost in a sense.
It sounded like we know that our forges are dying down, but they're not dead, right?
Okay.
So we've got some time.
Okay, so you got some time. Then I'm gonna say that we need a magma hold lord. Magma. Who are the leaders of the Fire Slayers? Like, do they have like? A
Yeah,
hierarchy?
so there's like a single man who's in charge, and then all of their sons compete essentially for who gets the most glory to take over the hold. And sometimes some of the sons will break off into their own holds.
They're called fire butchers. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, fuck you. That's the ogres.
I actually thought with his serious, like, I'm trying to look for things face, that he actually found something and it was real. I was like, what a fucking weird name.
No, I'm just sitting here looking at my character sheet and making it wider and smaller. That's all that's why I'm intensely staring at this.
That's very fair. Do you have an idea of where your character fits in on a societal level with these guys?
Me?
Coron? Yeah.
I haven't thought super hard about it yet.
Okay. Well,
I've thought a little bit more about my other idea, but this one's good.
Okay. And of course, our Stormhost boy. We need to find out the guy who kicked you out of your Stormhost.
Meet my captain, brother.
Yeah.
You were naughty.
Naughty boy, naughty.
Are they fucking Dutch?
Dishonorable discharge.
Oh, you have been stripped of your rank. Go join those dumb fucks, loser.
Loser.
We need some kind of captain or connection to your old Stormhost, though. If only so that they can show up and mock you for being slightly less powerful than they are. I feel like having an antagonistic, like, militant, weird brotherhood
I would think
going
it's
on.
more like, unless I'm being kicked out and they're like, you need to go and sort your personal vendetta out so you can join the rest of the Vendetta brothers and focus on doing the group vendetta thing.
Okay.
Short-term goal.
Put down Captain Vendetta.
Yeah.
Short-term goal, get that guy fired. Long-term goal, get his job.
That's a pretty fucking based, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I don't want to go heavy into background NPCs because I feel like having more forward-facing NPCs that we make connections with will be more useful. So we're just gonna have our one guy, which like ties our characters to their past lives, and then from there we're gonna move forward. Is there any requests for like background stuff that you guys have?
Nah, I'm gonna make it on the fly. Flashes of first life. I'll come up with something good.
I think understanding what my Grove is struggling with, like what's their biggest problem right now, might help ground me. And I can certainly like look at the fiction that's provided to try and get a sense of that. But as I was skimming over it, I didn't really. It was more like, here's what makes them cool and interesting.
I think I already might have just come up with something super cool.
Oh, perfect.
So Gyron is this bed of life, right? Everything sort of recycles. And the main antagonistic forces within it, other than the rats hiding in the forest, because fucking rats.
Fucking rats.
The beastmen and all other shit.
I swear to God, John, if you throw rat creatures at us, I will never forgive you.
Well, it's a Warhammer game, Nick. We have to have Skaven show up sometime.
Okay, Skaven, right? Fine, but if you make some sort of rat monstrosity in the jungle...
Look, bud, I'm just saying. So,
okay.
In Gyron, there's this guy named Ligma. And all right. No, there's this guy named Nurgle, who I say it Gaia. Godly demonic force named Nurgle, who's filled with pestilence. And, you know, since Gyron just keeps recovering, that means the diseases are just evolving. And one of the greatest assets that this Akish/Gyron bridge in Hammerhall does is allows for fire to actually melt some stuff.
Yeah.
Like grass and plants and burn the ground. Because currently Gyron's just overflowing with like unchecked light. And I feel that one of the things that your people, somewhat isolated and separated from, is they don't have that same connection. Like they're just not a part of Hammerhall. They're their own enclave or coven.
Yeah. Grove.
And now you are looking for a alternative to bring fire that can actually destroy the life that is overgrowing with pestilence.
Okay.
That isn't just, hey, we need a bridge of lava, can you send some over? Like, you're looking for an item, be it a magical orb or weapon that can help you out.
Okay.
And where better to look than the realm of fire, where goddamn every bitch motherfucker has fire-themed weapons and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think that fits really well. I ended up picking the talent of being a medic. So having that understanding of healing and medicine will be really, really helpful for understanding how to fight like disease. Yeah, so that's perfect.
Hell, maybe our antagonist stole a magical thing from your coven and is now using it in this realm, and you're now hunting for it.
Yeah, like something was stolen from our grove, and they escaped through the portal into what's the city called?
Hammerhall.
Yeah, to both. To Akish and Hammerhall, and now they've like escaped into the city, and that could give us some not necessarily like political intrigue, but like there's an enemy in the city probably, unless they've left the city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna spoil you, but
sure.
I'll flesh something out and we can pursue that.
Cool. Backing way up, when you said on Gyron, there's a guy named, I thought you were gonna say Ren.
Okay.
Does everybody get it? Does anyone need me to explain the joke?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're just gonna move on if you don't mind.
Sure.
The rat pack coming. Okay. I brought up where to find short-term and long-term goals in the Champions of Order PDF earlier, so we don't need to do any of that. So I guess we're on... Let me think for a moment.
Rumble Roar in the chat is giving me Patty Smile emotes, and I am unhappy about it.
I'm sorry. I think we're close to just getting ready to start. Honestly, the only thing I'll need is like a character thing to my character art piece to make a token out of. So if you're interested in doing that on your own, or sending that over to me so I can attach it to your character sheet, feel free. Yeah, I'm kind of blanking here, guys.
Okay.
What else do we need to talk about?
So just as a point of information, John, on something you said earlier today, you mentioned that you can continue to cast magic if you don't hit your DC or your target. I think so. I did not find anything to that effect. It was like, roll it. If you don't roll it, there's consequences.
Okay, I may be making shit up or taking stuff from the different system entirely, then.
Maybe. The magic system itself seems really cool, though. I have played a system before where you can, so like you have your difficulty and the number of that die you need to roll, and you can overcast spells, meaning if you get more than one, like the required successes, it can have an increased effect. I love that. I love that.
I think that's in this too.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, each of the spells has like an overcast thing.
A lot of them do. I don't know if it's everyone. Well, so far as I'm scrolling through them. Oh, here's one that doesn't. Okay, so not every single one, but most have an overcast ability. Like they do increase damage or heal more or last longer.
Do you have a limit on the number of spells you can have?
Not that I know. I was told, like for my character creation, with becoming a spellcaster, I got those 2 free spells and then I picked 4 more. I guess when I go into like advancement, we'll have to look at the rules for like gaining spells. Yeah, but right now I only
get a custom one too, right?
Yes, and I get a custom one, which I think I need to just review a lot of other spells to see I'm not like just duplicating something else, but I have an idea. Since I've come up with my character name, which is Kelp Mistress Kalara. So I will be reskinning a lot of the spells.
If you go to 283, you can find how to create a new spell.
Yes, I was reading that, but again, I want to make sure I'm not like just copy pasting something else. But I have I just got this in my head of being able to like basically vine whip, you know, going with the Bulbasaur theme, but like restrict and hinder. Like, so on 283 it shows that like you need to consider some of the major aspects of your spell. Does it heal, does it hurt, does it help, or hinder? And I feel like hindering could be really, really useful. There was a really cool hinder
whip, razor leaf.
yeah. Well, actually, there's a Briarstorm was the first Jade spell on the list, but you have to roll 3 5s for it to work. So I'm like trying to stay away from those until higher level when I like might have more dice to roll. But you summon a hail of sharpened thorns from above, and I just imagine like kelp leaves descending and just slicing. Yeah, basically razor leafing anything. But it's really cool. Mechanically, it makes a zone a major hazard. I don't know what that means, but that sounds really cool.
Like does 5 damage every time someone starts their or something.
Oh fuck!
There's a lot of neat little environmental things that I, as a DM, have access to, and spells can affect.
Yeah,
it's really, really neat.
Oh, they have a whip vines here that can help restrain targets. Maybe I'll look into making like a whip vines light, because this is also a roll 5 3s.
God, there's so many good Jade spells.
There's a lot of great Jade spells. I'm actually really looking forward to playing this, and I'm glad that I got you deleted my old character and made me pick something else. Anyway, yeah, I'll get back to you about the custom spell, but I'm also really excited because we had talked earlier about like if someone else is casting, they can give you additional die.
Yes.
But there's also effect for like where are you? So like if I'm back on Gyron, I get like major bonuses. And especially like where am I in Gyron? Am I like near the edge of the realm? Because the further away from the center of the realm you are, there's more magic available.
Does that mean if you are in Shaiish, you have a negative penalty, or just a penalty?
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's the realm of death, right? Those two are opposed.
Like, yeah, diametrically opposed. Let me look at the, it's called Realm Affinity. In places of strong magical resonance, certain types of spells become easier to cast. The most common example of this is spellcasters of a particular lore of magic casting a spell in that realm, such as a bright wizard casting a spell in a she. However you pronounce that. Anyway, wherever we are, or an amethyst wizard casting a spell in the realm of death. You gain plus 1d6 to mind channeling tests when in the realm aligned with your lore of magic, and at times during play, the GM may increase or decrease this affinity depending on your location.
Oh, okay. So if you're like in the realm of life, but you're at that one point where it's just like nuke to hell.
Yeah,
fire, you might not get
like
that 1d6.
Like I think it's like if you're in the center, magic is like the most drained from that.
Oh, that's gonna be super neat.
Fuck you. Okay.
What do you mean? No,
You're just already thinking of ways to give me penalties. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, but also ways that you can argue for bonuses.
Okay, cool.
I'm not giving you shit for free, Apollo. You're gonna have to lawyer everything.
Yeah. Okay. Here. Conversely, powerful effects may negate this bonus.
Good.
It doesn't specifically say it can give you like negative dice.
Yeah.
But you just like if you're in your realm, there still can be things that take that away from you. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I guess, you're the GM. If you want to tell me I have to hit a higher difficulty to cast a spell,
I'll do that when I feel like it. Hell yeah.
Feels like it all the time.
So, okay, here's actually something I want to talk with the group about, because there are some neat little talents that inspired me from the Champions of Order. There's a couple of cool little things that you can take both as a mechanical benefit as well as kind of like a narrative one, specifically around like building your own warband. So it gives examples of, I don't remember the actual talent, but I think it is in Champions of Order, where essentially you take it and the more points you invest in it experience-wise, the more people will kind of join you and like do stuff for you. I think if you get like 10 points into it, you can quite literally just have an army. And just like field a full-on army and have like an epic battle. Are we wanting to pursue that? Or are we more interested in just being our own isolated unit? Do we want to interact with NPCs in a more commanding presence? What kind of CIA agents do we want to be? Are we running paramilitary death squads in Chile, or are we...
are we the CIA,
like,
or are we the army?
I'd like to see how that just naturally comes, because if we do start noticing, like, there's a big area, we don't want to take it tactically, we can, work towards getting a team, right? And then essentially it'll just be us. Yeah, I know, but like, that's what I mean. Like, we can decide as it naturally comes, and then if we aim for like, if we go through let's just say we get through the first arc, right, and we find it as like, it's hard, but it's good, but we want to move forward towards more, the next goal that comes up in gameplay, right? For instance, if we decide we've taken this hold from this lot of fuck asses, let's go take this area or whatever, right? And it happens to have an army there, right? Or a Coronite roaming party, raid party. We could look at getting more of like, let's start moving towards getting an army, right? And we can use them to fight the grunts while we kill the champions or whatever, like what most of the books are based around.
Yeah, I think that I like the idea, like, once we start completing like major goals, right? Then once you start completing major goals, then that feels like the right time where people might start rallying around you, right?
I think one of like the first things the book says about Soulbound is like they're the ones that are chosen to go where maybe others can't. Which really sold me on them being very like in my metaphor CIA-ish. And I definitely think that that's where we should start. But if like you need to know our interest, like so that you can craft, foes and
like, do we eventually want you to like be dragging along a channeling goblin or not? Is my question, right?
Yeah. I mean, go big and hard with your antagonists. We will I think still figure it out and play, because I think it is hard to give an answer right now. But like,
that's fair.
If we want like you know, a huge Nurgle, I don't know what to call, like
Nurglite.
a big group of Nurglites. If you want like there to be a host as one of our potential enemies on Gyren, go for it.
Okay.
And maybe it turns out that solving that is through some sort of like channeling some big powerful spell or finding a big powerful artifact, or maybe it's like, all right, let's get a bunch of fucking dwarves with a bunch of fucking mechs that shoot like napalm and let's go. We will lead them forth.
This is a meme question, but because Coron hates the steampunk dwarves, we are definitely bringing them in at every opportunity we get, and they will be necessary to complete the campaign. So
That's fine, as long as I don't have to play as one or use any of their equipment.
Unfortunately.
First turn, everybody get in the mech.
Hell yeah. Get in the airship. God, I love airships, guys.
Hell
Airships
yeah.
are so fucking sick. Okay.
I'll give up my soul, but I won't get in that goddamn airship, John.
Just blow up my soul now.
I suppose the final thing we kind of have to go over is how to treat magical items, because Dungeons and Dragons have spoiled us, let's be real. We're always expecting a magical item to show up in a treasure hoard. In Warhammer, magic items are not just incredibly rare, but also kind of uniform. They're kind of boring, almost. I believe there are special rules somewhere that lets you have magical effects. But literally, the trait, or these are all considered now weapon and armor traits, rather than like, John, my flame tongue greatsword deals an extra 1d6 fire damage. Like, clearly it's not going to do that kind of stuff. They are... You won't ever really get them as rewards. And if you do find one, it's not going to be nearly as cool as you think it will be. So I just want to tell you all that now. Before it's like, John, what do you mean? It only gives me +1 focus to fire damage or whatever. This is fucking lame, bro. I'm a goddamn life water elf from the sea. They just don't have.
Welcome to Grimdark, bitches.
Like, yeah.
Listen,
I'm fine with this.
all I need to do is find the Urgold, and I get magic items. Screw you guys.
True. In the GM screen PDF, it gives you a list of literally every weapon and armor trait on like its first page. I don't know. I think there are 2 GM sheets that I've shared with you both. There's one that is big and easy to read, and there's one that is super small and hard to read. Obviously, don't read that one. Yeah. So it's more about using the tools of what you got and disposing what you have, rather than holding on to the one thing over and over and over again, because it's just the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Finally, for the economy, I suppose, just remember, your economy is based off of water droplets now. The droplet-based economy. Luckily for your party, you have a life mage, which can't, or not even life mage, a jade mage, who can do several things that the water normally does, like land purification. I don't know if Nick took those spells, which...
Hang on, I need to pull something up real quick, unrelated to what we're talking about.
But obviously, if you're not spending your money to purify the land, that's a good thing. And you may have more money to use for things. I highly recommend you not holding on to your wealth. These kinds of games are, you literally buy as much shit as you can and then use all of that shit. and constantly I don't know. It's just like a kind of a farce if one of you has a backpack filled with several breakable glass orbs filled with magical water, and you're like, John, I have 10,000 droplets of water in this cask. What can I do with it? Like, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, don't end the campaign with 98 Phoenix Downs. Got it.
Yeah.
But I want to.
So use the
haven't used
resources I
them.
give you. And don't be mad at me when the magical items I also give you are kind of shit. It's just not that kind of game, I guess. Are there any mechanical or narrative things we want to talk about before we head on out?
Coffee Traveler asks, "Are there flashbacks?"
No, we don't
that shit
listen
was
to
awesome.
Coffee Traveler. Okay, fuck off. He's gonna ask about clocks next, and I'm gonna go on a 15-minute tirade of how they're stupid, and I'm gonna trigger both Millman and ApolloNik. God, fucking Blades in the Dark.
It's so good.
So bad.
So there are no jade spells for cleansing land. I mean, I don't know what you mean by cleansing land, but it doesn't look.
I think it's called like a life bloom or something.
That gives you like you can make food with that. The zone immediately begins to grow and blossom.
Okay.
Grass sprouts, fresh seeds take root, and fruits and vegetables swell and ripen.
Based. That sounds awesome.
Swell and ripen. Nice.
The accelerated growth continues for a day, creating months worth of harvest. Each additional success extends the duration of this by 1 day, the base duration being 1 day.
Yeah. It's something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
That sounds cracked. We can feed an army in a month.
Yeah. Yes. And I think I did. Let's see. Did I take that? Did I take it? I did. That was the last spell I picked. Yep.
Fuck yeah. I ain't going hungry, bitches. This tree man's keeping me healthy. Tree lady.
Man, spy glasses are way cheaper in this game than D&D.
Everyone,
okay.
2 spy glasses at all times. Go.
Maybe maybe I misremembered. There are extra spells in the Champions of Order.
Oh,
Jade
shit.
spells,
Okay,
like
well, hang on.
Geyser and Purify and Throne of Pines.
Oh, all right. Well,
So you enjoy looking up those and shifting your spells around. For my marshals and my my prayers, my prayer players, guys. LOL. God is great. I love Grimnir.
It's okay. I get like one whole miracle that I'm never going to use.
Based. If that's all we got, then next week we will actually play Age of Sigmar Soulbound. Get our characters' names out there. Flesh some setting. Next thing we know, we're on a brand new campaign.
Oh shit.
hell yeah.
We may in the not very near future, but in the future we may have like a 4th player join us, maybe even for a limited time. And you know, we can cycle out some players who want to play but just don't have that year-long commitment in them to show up for a couple sessions.
Yeah.
And be like, well, I've completed this arc with you fuckers. See you later. Or die. We'll just kill them.
Just make them Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah, fuck that.
Shotgun taking their loot. I now have 2 big swords. Fuck you.
Hell yeah. In which case, we will definitely get Temer in here, who refuses to play games anymore. That piece of shit.
Weak.
What if we choose not to do that after, you know, however long, and we like what we got going? We'll just keep on going. We'll just keep cruising, guys.
Sounds good.
We're going to do the thing with Temer where he's like, okay, I could do it 2 more weeks, and then just all of that for a year.
True. Any shout outs we want to make then as we head on out?
No. I don't have any Warhammer focused stuff coming up, so I can't be like, hey, you come and catch me playing that. But no, yeah, I got nothing. You'll probably hear me brainstorming more, playing video games mindlessly in the next, week.
Excellent.
Fair.
Excellent. So you're all set with a new graphics card mill. You're like streaming regularly again.
All of that got sent off yesterday. I'm using old hardware.
Okay.
Like I have spare parts. I haven't been down at all the whole time the computer's been dead. I just assembled with old pieces. A ragtag stream setup.
Hold on. This actually brings up a mechanical question. How the fuck do you heal someone whose body is made of metal?
I still can be healed.
Yeah. Okay. But how do you heal? Like,
listen. Am I not the perfect one to answer that question? As a, heat dwarf, you heat the metal and you forge it back together.
Well, I'm playing the wrong fucking character because I was envisioning just taking like little kelp. I don't know, what are they called? The long tube things, the plants that wash up on shore. They're like
seaweed.
Yeah, seaweed tubes or whatever the fuck. Just like taking 2 of those and just plugging them in, like you're,
Oh yeah, we like plugging it in, do we?
Yeah. Okay.
I love my seaweed kelp tubes.
Here, take these. Put it in your. Never mind.
Some wounds, some scratch marks. Let me throw in some of that seaweed gel.
Okay. Well, I've made this weird now.
You sure have. Anything you want to shout out?
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I want to thank you, John, for hosting a new show on the channel. Now, not only can you hang out with us weekly on Wednesdays, John and I, you can hang out with us on Fridays too, moving forward. Fuck yeah. And thank you to the 1 million people that subscribed earlier. I really appreciate the support of the channel. And we got a level 4 hype train achieved. That I don't even know what that means. 12 subs. That's crazy. I'm just feeling the
I better
love.
be getting an amazing birthday gift this year. Holy shit.
Oh.
I'm kidding. But nobody ever buys me anything for my birthday. That's what I like. I don't want things because then I have to look after them. I have enough shit.
Sounds good.
You just gestured of a void behind you.
The void, exactly. I have enough shit.
All my beautiful things.
Look at all my darkness.
My final plug is I will be on Greg Hansen's channel on Sunday night at 7 p.m. for episode 3 of Fellowship of Souls, our 5th edition campaign. I'm having a blast. We've got some really phenomenal fiction and character depth. Like it's incredible.
Hell yeah. Coron,
right.
Anything you want to say before we head on out?
Well, thanks to Nick for letting me on your channel. Fuck you, John. I'm gonna keep painting you with my existence until you get sick of me.
Okay, well, now that you've said that, I told John he could invite whoever he wanted, so you're welcome for being here. It was not my choice, but I'm glad to have you.
Thank you for being a friend.
All right.
Well, I'm sure you could have vetoed if you were too mad about it.
It's true. He could have.
You're like, fuck that guy. He's not allowed to play on my game.
Nah.
Okay. Well, I don't have control over the end stream button, but this is where I normally transition on out of here. So guys, have a lovely afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are. And as always, have a very bad morning. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Have a good night. Ah!